Well, I mean, at first I was like, well, wait, are we sure that Steph wants to leave? I mean, there have been conversations that she considered signing an extension with Connecticut. Like there were a bunch of things that we had been hearing around.
What if I told you the Indiana Fever just got a cheat code for the WNBA? 3 Connecticut Sun players are packing their bags and heading to Indy. That's right, the Fever's about to level up big time. But here's the kicker. These aren't just any players. We're talking all-stars who could turn the Fever from zeros to heroes overnight. Imagine Caitlin Clark's face when she hears about her new superstar teammate. This is gonna be wild. Picture this. You're chilling at home, scrolling through your phone, when bam, your screen lights up like a Christmas tree. Notifications are popping off left and right. What's going on? The Fever, your team that's been struggling forever, is about to flip the script.
New head coach, and so she will be heading back to Indiana because that's where she has roots. She played there as a player. She coached in Indiana before.
You know how the Fever's been at the bottom of the league for years? Well, not anymore. They're about to change the game in a way you've never seen before. It's like they found a secret cheat code or something. Here's the crazy part. 3-star players from the Connecticut Sun are hitting free agency. And guess what? They might be packing their bags for Indy. I'm not kidding. These aren't just any players either. We're talking about game changers who could turn the Fever into instant contenders. Let's break it down. First, you've got Dewana Bonner, a 4-time All-Star who can score from anywhere on the court. Then there's Alyssa Thomas, a defensive monster who fills up the stat sheet like it's nothing. And don't forget about Courtney Williams, a spark plug guard who can light it up when it matters most. Now, you're probably thinking, no way they'll all come to Indiana. But here's the kicker that changes everything, Stephanie White. Yeah, the Fever's new coach used to lead these players in Connecticut. You know what that means? There's already chemistry there. It's like getting the band back together, but this time they're wearing Fever jerseys. So imagine this, a Sun reunion in Indiana. Sounds crazy, right? But it could actually happen. We're talking about turning the Fever from the team everyone forgets about to the team everyone fears. It's like going from the playground to the big leagues overnight. But hold on to your seats because the Fever's not done shopping yet. They've got more tricks up their sleeve. This roster revolution is just the beginning. The Fever are looking to create a super team, and they're not stopping at just these Sun players. You think this is wild? Just wait until you hear what's next.
This is known about her. It's one of the reasons why the Indiana Fever were pursuing her. Many of the members of the team posted about it.
The Fever are cooking up something so big, it might just change the face of the WNBA. But that's a story for another minute. For now, let's just soak in the fact that the Fever might go from zeros to heroes faster than you can say championship. The Fever are cooking up something big, but they're not stopping at just the Sun players. You know who else is on the market? Kelsey Plum. Yeah, that Kelsey Plum. Now picture this, Clark and Plum in the same backcourt. Sounds insane, doesn't it? But here's the thing, it could actually happen. Let's talk about Caitlin Clark for a second. You know she's a beast on the court, right? But imagine her with an all-star supporting cast. We're talking about a rookie who can score from anywhere, dish out assists like candy, and light up the scoreboard. But even legends need help to win championships. Here's the million-dollar question. Can the Fever build a super team around Clark? I mean, they're already eyeing those Sun players we talked about earlier, but that's not all. There are other free agents looking at Indiana too. And get this, Kelsey Plum might be looking for a new home. You know what's crazier? Picture Clark and Plum in the same backcourt. That's scary, right? We're talking about 2 players who can shoot the lights out, handle the ball like it's on a string, and make defenders look silly. It's like putting 2 cheat codes into one team. But here's why this could actually work. Clark's got this insane basketball IQ, right? She sees the game in slow motion. And Plum, she's been there, done that. She knows how to win in the WNBA, put them together, and you've got a backcourt that could give any team nightmares. And it's not just about Clark and Plum. Think about it. Rookie stars usually do better when they've got some vets around them. Look at players like Sabrina Ionescu and Arike Ogunbowale. They came into the league and balled out because they had experienced teammates to lean on. If the Fever pulls this off, we're looking at a team that could dominate for years. We're talking about going from the bottom of the league to title contenders overnight. It's like they found a secret formula or something. But before you get too excited, there's a catch. Building a super team isn't as easy as it looks on paper. Sometimes these dream teams struggle to gel at first. It's like trying to fit a bunch of puzzle pieces together. It takes time. But man, when it clicks, watch out WNBA. The Fever might just become the team everyone's afraid to play. Hold up. We're talking about stacking the roster with stars, but there's one huge obstacle. The WNBA salary cap. It's not exactly NBA money we're dealing with here. So how in the world could the Fever pull off this Cinderella story without emptying their pockets? Let's break it down. The WNBA has this cap that keeps teams from going crazy with spending spending. It's way less than what NBA teams can throw around. You'd think that'd make it impossible for the Fever to build their dream team, right? But here's where it gets wild. Some players are actually willing to take pay cuts to win. I know, sounds crazy, but it's true. These stars want rings more than they want fat checks, and that's where the Fever might have an edge. Imagine a bunch of all-stars saying, yeah, I'll take less money to play with Caitlin Clark and chase a championship. That's the kind of thing that could turn Indiana into a powerhouse overnight. But wait, there's more. The new CBA is shaking things up big time. It's changing how teams can spend their money and manage their rosters. And get this, players are now looking for short-term deals. You know what that means for the Fever? They could stack their team for a championship run without getting stuck with long-term contracts that might blow up in their face later. Think about it. The Fever could sign a bunch of stars to 1 or 2 year deals. They go all in for a title shot, and if it doesn't work out, no problem. They're not tied down for years. It's like going all in on a poker hand, but you get to keep some chips if you lose. This is huge for Indiana. They could go from being the team everyone forgets about to the team everyone's scared of, and they could do it without breaking the bank. It's like they found a cheat code for team building or something. But here's the thing. It's not just about the money. These players want to win, and they want to play with other stars. The Fever are offering both. They've got Caitlin Clark. They might get some Sun players, and now they're looking at other free agents. It's like they're putting together the Avengers of women's basketball. So yeah, the money game is tricky, but the Fever might have figured out how to play it just right. They're not just throwing cash around. They're being smart. They're being flexible, and they're selling a vision. And if it worked, watch out, WNBA. The Fever might just become the team to beat. You know what's crazy? We're about to build a WNBA dream team right here, right now. Let's dive into this Fever fantasy lineup that's got everyone talking. We've got Caitlin Clark as our superstar centerpiece, but who's joining her on this potential powerhouse squad? Imagine this. Clark steps onto the court, but she's not alone. She's flanked by some of the biggest names in the game. Picture Clark, 2 of those Sun stars we talked about earlier, and maybe even Kelsey Plum, all in Fever jerseys. That's insane, right? It's like assembling the Avengers of women's basketball. But here's the thing. It's not just about the starting 5. Championship teams need a solid bench. And get this, the Fever could go from having practically no depth to one of the deepest squads in the league overnight. It's like they found a secret stash of all-stars or something. Let's break down this potential lineup. You've got Clark's incredible scoring and playmaking skills running the show. Then add in someone like Alyssa Thomas, who's a defensive beast and can do it all on the court. Throw in Brianna Jones for some serious inside presence, and maybe Kelsey Plum for even more firepower. That's a starting lineup that could give any team nightmares. But wait, there's more. The bench could be stacked too. We're talking about players who could start on other teams coming off the bench for the Fever. It's like they've got a secret weapon ready to unleash at any moment. Now think about how this team would match up against the powerhouses like the Aces or the Liberty. Not so outmatched anymore, huh? The Fever could go from being the team everyone forgets about to the team everyone fears. It's like they've gone from 0 to hero faster than Clark can sink a 3-pointer. With this potential roster, the Fever could transform from league laughingstock to title favorites literally overnight. We're talking about a team that could dominate for years to come. It's the kind of lineup that makes other teams want to hit the reset button on their own rosters. But hold up, before we start planning the championship parade, there's one more thing to consider. Building a super team looks great on paper, but making it work on the court, that's a whole different ballgame. Chemistry, roles, egos, all that stuff matters. But if they can figure it out, watch out, WNBA. The Fever might just become the hottest ticket in town. All right, let's wrap this up. The Indiana Fever are on the brink of something huge. We're talking about a team that's been at the bottom for so long, and now they might just shoot straight to the top. That's the kind of story that gets people talking, you know? But here's the million-dollar question. Can they actually pull this off? I mean, building a super team looks great on paper, but making it work in real life, that's a whole different ball game. And if they do make it happen, are we looking at the next big dynasty in the WNBA? You know what's crazy? We might be watching history in the making. The 2024 season is shaping up to be wild. The Fever could go from being the team everyone forgets about to the team everyone's watching. It's like they found a secret formula or something. Only time will tell how this all plays out. But one thing's for sure, the WNBA just got a whole lot more interesting. Buckle up, folks. This ride's about to get wild.